Hi. Hello, sci-fi Facebook people. How are you guys doing? I am coming to you live from, I'm so tempted to say that like this is my bedroom and I just have this giant poster of me and Josh in my bedroom. It's totally a lie though. This is the Colony press tour. We are in Lisbon today. We're going to Madrid tomorrow. I'm going to see some of you in London and in Mannheim in a couple of days. So I've got some questions here that people sent in, I think, via the Facebook page. Oh, hi, people are here. Hi, you're crying. Don't cry, Gabriella. It's all okay. Am I enjoying Europe? I am enjoying Europe. I'm having a great time. I've had a chocolate mousse every single day that I've been here so far. So if there's an award for that, please let me know. I'm going to put myself in contention. Okay, so here's some of the questions, because I know you guys submitted these and I want to get through as many of them as I can. Fernando Nobre, I apologize if I'm destroying your name, wrote this question: whenever you doubted yourself or felt like giving up, what is the one thought that kept you going and working towards where you are today? I don't know that it's one moment. You know, when I take time out and I try and tell, oh God, this sounds so cheesy. I try and take a few moments out for gratitude every day to sort of give thanks for the people who believed in me, because I've had a really extraordinary career. And I think especially as I was directing the episode of Colony that I did 309 this season, I was sort of overcome with gratitude for all the people who made it possible for me to do the things that matter the most to me. It's a huge gift, and it's not something that a lot of us get all the time. And that made me think of a time, I don't know if I've ever shared this story before, but when I went to my first award show, which is the Golden Globes, the year Prison Break was nominated, I ran into somebody. I didn't know anybody there except for Wentworth. We went together. I was so new to Hollywood and the whole place felt strange and scary. And I ran into somebody that I'd known from outside of Hollywood in the lobby as the event was ending. And I was like, oh my gosh, what are you doing here? This is amazing. And this person said to me, I'm on a nominated show. Whose date are you? And it sort of shocked me because it was such a mean thing to say. And I go back to that moment a lot, because I think sometimes we work as hard because of the people who didn't believe in us as we do the people who did. And I'm not going to say that I like made my whole career work because this one person was so rude, but I do think there's something to be said for the motivation of making sure that nobody ever treats you like some stupid girl from the middle of nowhere, some, barefoot islander from Hawaii, and of working hard to create a sense of inclusiveness for everybody. Let's see. In real life, if you had to choose to be one of your characters, Prison Break Sarah, Walking Dead's Lori Grimes, or Katie Bowman's Colony, which would it be? That's from Anaira. That's a beautiful name, whatever it is. Leon. I think I would go for Katie, actually, in Colony. She's either closer to me than anyone I've ever played, or closer to the person I wish I was. She's got so much courage, and she's also, in some ways, I think, the most fully formed character that I've ever played. Laurie existed in Walking Dead in order to give the audience a better sense of who Rick was and the decisions that he makes. And Laurie was there kind of dramaturgically to push him in one way or another. Katie, hi guys, I see all your little hearts running across the bottom of the screen. Katie is her own person, and completely her own person. And she has a life that is connected to Willow Bowman's on the story, on the show, but also completely independent from him. And so in some ways, I think she's the most fully formed female character I've ever played. So thank you for that awesome question. Graciela Costa asks, in your opinion, what are the biggest challenges to start a career in Hollywood? There's so many answers to that question, but I think probably the one, at least at the moment, that I feel is most true is that the biggest challenges are here and here. We are far more unkind to each other, to ourselves, sorry, than I think we often can be to each other. And I think maybe one of the biggest stumbling blocks to a career is thinking, I'm not whatever enough. I'm not smart enough or pretty enough or God help you thin enough or connected enough or wealthy enough. I worked with an actor when I was getting my degree at the Denver Center named Archie Smith, who has since passed on. But Archie was in his, I think, 70s, late 70s, early 80s when we worked together. And he had this phenomenal career that started in Broadway at the Lucille Lortel Theater with Helen Hayes. And he said when he got to New York, he said to himself, there's only one of me. And that stuck with me. That was some of Archie's great wisdom. And I think he's completely right. You're never going to be the next Angelina Jolie, but you will succeed at being the first of you. I realize that that is so cheesy that I kind of want to punch myself in the throat, but I also think it's true. Ana Maria Henriquez, I apologize. My first language is English, my second one is French, and my third is Hawaiian. I am not equipped to pronounce your names, and I really apologize. She writes, you have a vast CV in TV. Get it? CV and TV, it rhymes. Would you like to do more acting in theater and cinema? It's funny, you know, I graduated with a Master of Fine Arts in theater. I never expected to do anything that wasn't stage work. You know, you audition for what you audition for, and then you get what you get. I do miss theater. You know, I did a play at the Kennedy Center a few years ago. Theater is like boot camp for an actor. You have to find a character, you have to find a performance, and then you have to do it every night. 6 days a week, twice on the weekend, so 8 shows a week. I felt strong when I was done with it. I don't know if I need to do more movies. I've never really been in a good movie. My movie career just kind of sucks. And the roles for women and the opportunities I have directing in television, I think are revolutionary and really exciting. I used to believe that theater was here, movies were here, and television was here. And if that was ever true, it's not true now. When it comes to a career in movies, I think I'm more likely to write and or direct them than I am to act in them. But thank you for your question. Colony's producer has previously worked on Lost. What have you learned the most with Carlton Cuse? From Lisa Suarez Mendez. What have I learned the most from Carlton? Well, Carlton's more or less the smartest man in the room, whatever room he's in. You know, he's a Harvard guy. He's super tall. The only person who can probably give him a run for his money is the woman he married. Chris is every bit as smart as he is, and probably twice as charming. Carlton, I hope you're watching this. Carlton has an ease and a grace to him that I think puts everyone else at ease. He seems, I've never seen him lose his cool. He seems grounded and kind, no matter what he's saying and no matter who he's talking to. And I think that's a sign of true leadership, that no matter what chaos is going around, he brings the temperature down and he brings a calm, wise head. I have tremendous respect for that. It doesn't come easily to me. I'm a bit more of a hothead, I'm a bit more of a passionate personality, but I'm trying to learn from Carlton. Let me just answer one more of these, and then I just want to see if there's any questions that are right here. I live in Greece. Hi, Greece. That's not English. So sorry. Gabriella, thank you. You look beautiful too. I can't see you right now, but I guarantee you look beautiful. And that's not English, and that's not English. Okay, fair enough. So I'm going to go back to reading questions in a language that I understand. I apologize. Again, it's so catastrophically American of me to not speak every language. I've been here in Lisbon for the last couple of days, and you know, you start a conversation with somebody in one language and they switch to another one and they switch to another one, and then someone else comes up and they've got, everybody's here speaks 4 languages. It's pretty exciting. So the process of embracing new care, oh, hold on, somebody over here is saying something to me. One question, how do you prepare for particularly in-depth emotional scenes or monologues? Do you have a specific preparation method? That is Sam Preston. Hi, Sam. How do I prepare for that stuff? So I've learned a lot from different actors, actually. It used to be that I worked almost exclusively with poetry. I find poetry, especially Edna St. Vincent Millay, who's my favorite poet, but poetry distills emotions down into really intense kind of modules, and it's accessible pretty quickly. And so I would work with a lot of poetry. I have a book of poetry, actually, that I have sides from maybe 15 projects shoved in there. And I would do quite a lot of work with that. When we were doing Walking Dead, Andy, actually, I learned a lot from him, Andy Lincoln. He works quite a lot with music. And so when we were doing the scenes in the 2nd season by Carl's bedside when he had been shot, when Otis had shot him, we were preparing for a scene that was really emotional, and Andy just leaned over and handed me half of one of his earbuds. And he was listening to Bob Dylan's Forever Young, and it devastated me. And I'd seen Andy with his iPod, you know, for the whole 1st season. And I went to him later and I said, you know, would you share some of your playlist? Because that was a really effective way of just getting exactly kind of where I needed to be. So I started working with music, and I make a playlist for every character and every show. And it evolves over the course of the season. I published a couple of them, I think. And now at the beginning of every new project and the beginning of every season of Walking Dead, Andy and I still swap music. You know, I'll say, oh, I'm doing this crazy new thing and I pulled up these songs, they're kind of obscure, let me know what you think. And he'll go, oh great, yeah, thanks, I can use a couple of those, and I just pulled up this album, give it a listen. It's become kind of a cool way to stay connected, not only to each other as friends, but to each other's work. Yeah, it's been really helpful. Yeah, poetry and music, really good question, Sam. Oh, and actually, you know, that Kat Put asked a similar question, which is, what's the process of embracing a new character? What do you usually do, and which character has been the hardest so far? So to sort of expand on that previous answer, I do a lot of research. So I do a lot of reading. You know, for Dr. Tancredi, I read the big book, which is the Alcoholics Anonymous book. Read an amazing book called Committing Journalism about an inmate who became a journalist. I read A Train in Winter, Preparing for Colony. It's a devastating book, but it's really amazing. And then depending on the role, I might try and go interview people. I'm about to go do a mini-series called Unspeakable, and it's about a real, the Canadian blood crisis. That was a real thing that happened in Canada around the AIDS and infected blood and Hep C being given to people in transfusions in the 80s and 90s. And there are a few people that I'm going to speak with who went through that journey personally. I feel like the less I have to invent, the more the work I do can be as weird as life. Because sometimes when we invent things, they get generic, but life has all these strange details that you'd never think of. And among the things I would never have thought of when I started in this business is Facebook Live. The idea that, like, we're hanging out together, and I can't even see you guys. But I'm sending you love, and I see the little hearts that you're sending me too. And I gotta hop off for a lot of reasons, partly because I've been sitting here doing interviews for the last 4 hours, and I've been drinking a lot of water. You do the math. But thank you. Thank you for taking the time to come hang out. Thank you for taking the time to ask questions. Thank you for being here with me on this journey through all these different characters and all these different years. You guys mean the world to me, and I'm grateful for your support. Bye, y'all.